we are starting. So with this, I officially start our pre-co-design workshop webinar. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our colleagues who are joining us from across the South Asia region and across the globe. I'm Dr. Nouri Sabar-Rakhshani, the coordinator for the AI-Sarosh. As you all know, just a quick update, the Secretariat for Knowledge Hub for Artificial Intelligence for Sexual and Reproductive Health in South Asia is being hosted by PHC Global in Pakistan and GTA in Nepal. And we have our team members with us today, and we will each be introducing ourselves at some point. Next slide, please. Just a quick recap of our agenda and what we have planned for today. And this agenda and anything else that any of our grantees want to add to this agenda, please feel free to write it in the chat. And also, we would request all of your permission that this presentation and webinar is being recorded. And at some point, this also will be placed on our website or the GTA website accordingly. Next slide, please. So I would have your permission for having this recorded. Thank you. And now our quick recap of our team members here. You have been working with our different team members. If you have any questions during the time, you can type your question in the chat, or at the end of our Q&A session, you will have an opportunity to ask questions to any of our team members. And next slide, please. Simple housekeeping rules. If standard, please, we would love to hear from everyone. But if you don't get an opportunity to send in your question verbally or get an opportunity to ask a question, please make sure to use the chat. We will be monitoring the chat throughout the presentation, and we will try to respond to your questions in the order that they come. Any question that we are unable to respond during this presentation, we will make sure to write back to you and reach to you with an answer. We will be mindful of each other's time, so we will try to keep our questions and comments up to 60 seconds or less if we are able to do that. But otherwise, please feel free to share with us what are your thoughts. Next slide, please. Okay, so first of all, Shaharun, can you go to the next slide, please, where the Deepak ji is supposed to, for the right, sorry, this slide, Shaharun, the slide where Deepak ji is supposed to be, after the knowledge hubs, after the housekeeping, I was supposed to have Deepak ji come and give a congratulations and a welcome to all our grantees. So while we are working with our slide, Deepak ji, I would like to request you to address our grantees. And first of all, everyone, congratulations, and we are very excited to see you. So please, Deepak ji, go ahead. Over to you, Deepak ji.
So thank you, Noor. Hello, good afternoon and good morning, everyone. I'm Deepak Bajracharya. With me, Chikis Karki is also with me. I'm the co-lead of the AI-Sarosh. On behalf of the PHC Global and the GTA Foundation, I would like to congratulate all the grantees and welcome you all to the AI-Sarosh team. As a team, we are sure that we'll pioneer the innovation and the global dissemination of knowledge to tackle sexual, reproductive, and the maternal health challenges through applying the AI. So we have selected a grantee who are aligned with the AI-Sarosh mission and vision. As a grant receipt, you all are our family member to internalize and succeed in the AI-Sarosh objective of the developing the gender and environment friendly AI solution. The objectives are stated here as a refresher, and for all the STAR incorporating the vision in their projects and work for creating the regional hub for using the AI for the sexual, reproductive, maternal health in this area in the south. So we would like to welcome you all once again to the team and to this uh, pre-co-creation webinar. Hope this webinar will help you all with the preparation and implementation of the project. So once again, congratulations and welcome in the team. Now I would like to go over to the Noor again.
Thank you so very much, Deepak ji. Sharon, please put up the slides. And you can come to the results section, the slide that the presentation that you shared just a while ago. Thank you. Yeah. Um, yeah, you can go into the slide mode, slideshow mode. Thank you so very much. Yes, once again, congratulations to all our successful grantees. It's an amazing opportunity to be reading your proposals and now working with you much closely. Just a quick recap of the process that we had the past 3 months. We received a total of 35 full proposals, taken a lot of effort. We appreciate everyone who submitted, and we understand that a lot of effort went into it. And for our colleagues who did not make it to the finalists, we regret that. But this was a very objective selection where we had two external independent reviewers review each of the proposals, the technical proposals, and then the financial proposals were reviewed internally, and the organizational capacity was also reviewed internally. And each of the proposals were scored by the external reviewers, and based on the external reviewers' recommendations, proposals were either not recommended, recommended, or and recommended by both the reviewers. We had a tough time because we had some amazing 17 very good proposals that were the shortlisted ones. From among those, three of the proposals that were awarded the grant did not require many revisions, but however, we work, and with some of our teams, we're still working for the revision of the proposal. So we will have a total of 7 teams from 9 organizations and institutions from across the South Asia region. I'm just going to be giving a quick introduction of the successful slide number 7, please. Shaharun? Yes, the Bangladesh, please. Can you come on Bangladesh? The slide before that. It's slide number 7, yeah. Yes, thank you so very much, Harun. So we have today with us, and thank you for joining this pre-workshop webinar. We have our teams from Bangladesh, Sohasto, the CMED Health Limited team. They are with us. Then we also have the Empower Social Enterprise Limited, working in collaboration with UNICEF Bangladesh, and one of their other co-project was also with working with BRAC, that is in Bangladesh as well. And also we have the team from Eminence Associates for Social Development. I would like everyone, just please give us your reaction. And we are in a virtual environment. So I would request everyone to give a big round of applause to our successful teams from Bangladesh. Thank you very much. Shaharun, can you please get to the next slide with our teams from Nepal? Thank you. Thank you so very much. We have our teams from Nepal, Applied Mathematics and Informatics Institute for Research, and Bisect Solutions Private Limited. And a big round of applause to everyone from Nepal. We had very amazing proposals submitted, and over the course of the next few weeks, you are going to be also getting the information from each of the teams and the team profiles. We highly recommend that you do spend some time to know the other teams, because this is a collaborative environment, and we would want to create this as a collaborative, a combined collaborative of these amazing 10 teams. They're going to be working together. And next slide, please, Shaharun. We also have the team from National University of Sciences and Technologies in Pakistan and from the Aga Khan University Hospital, Pakistan. And we also have an amazing team. I'm proud to say that we have a good representation, a gender representation from all the countries and also from Pakistan, where our PIs are female or leaders who have been leading their projects. We also have our team from Foreman Christian College from Pakistan. A big round of applause to you. Thank you so very much for submitting your proposals. Uh, and our finalist, next slide, please, for Sri Lanka's team. Thank you. Thank you, Shaharun. As I mentioned, some of our team members are still undergoing their revision of their proposals as recommended by the reviewers. So we would love to have our team from Sri Lanka also complete their process and be able to be among the grantees as well. But thank you so very much for joining us today. I have a hand raised. Shaharun, can you see who's, because for some reason, because I'm presenting, I cannot see who has the, okay, thank you so very much. Hina Najmi, I think you have your hand raised. If anybody has their hand raised, please let me know. Otherwise we can.
It was Asaduzzaman from Bangladesh, so maybe
Okay, fine.
unmuted.
Maybe,
So you can
yeah, it
ask.
was a legacy hand, I guess. Yeah, maybe we can, please go ahead, Dr. Satuzaman Polash. Please go ahead and type your question in the chat. Yeah, thank you very much, Hina. We are going to be monitoring the chat as well. Thank you very much. Shaharun, can we please go to the next steps? What are we going to be expecting in the coming weeks, leading to the September 13th to 17th co-design workshop in Colombo, Sri Lanka? We will have some of our team members from the grant agreement team and from our digital technologies and data analytics team who are going to be working, walk you through the reporting portal and completion of the grant agreement and the scope of work that would be going out to the team members. That is in the immediate, within this, the early next week, you're going to be going. We will also be discussing your trip to Colombo and we'll try to address your questions if you have any regarding your trip and the visa, the tickets, and what is our expectation from our grantees for the co-design workshop. And for that, we are going to be, I will be sharing with you a small outline of the presentation, and later on we'll go to in detail over the project outline that we expect you to be presenting during the co-design workshop. Now I hand it over to Shaharun to walk us through the reporting portal, which is work in progress. Over to you, Shaharun, please.
Thank you, Dr. Noor. Hello, everyone. So we have a report portal in place for which we will be using for the reporting. And so there are two key features: the agreement section and managing task and reporting. In the agreement section, the agreement module serves as a critical starting point of the project initiation, ensuring that all parties involved have a clear understanding of terms and conditions of the project. So in this section, the awardee can access the agreement provided by AI-Sarosh management through the portal. You will see all the all the related documents to the agreements. The agreement outline the project scope, expectation, and legal obligations. The agreement also includes some important links such as data privacy references. So these links, the awardee with the comprehensive information and privacy compliance aspect related to the project. To move forward, the awardee review the agreement and associated link carefully. For each link, there is an accept checkbox That signifies that the awardee has reviewed and understand the linked content. Once the awardee has accepted the agreements and linked content, they proceed to provide their acceptance with a digital signature or by uploading an image file to their signature. This step adds a layer of formality and legal validations to the agreement process. So this is the agreement section. You will have to read the agreement and the link provided in the agreement, and you have also accept by clicking the checkbox that we have read the link content and accept those uh, policies. After agreement, you will have access to the project section where you can see your project and related tasks or deliverables. In this section, you have the list of the awarded project, and also you have the detailed information of the project, including scope, timeline, deliverable, and associated tasks. Also, within the project section, you can manage deliverable and tasks. You can also monitor the progress, and this feature ensures that everyone stays on track and aligned with the project goals. At last, the reporting is a crucial aspect of the module of this module. A body can create project reports, provide updates on their progress. Reports can include various type of files. You can upload files in PDF file, document file, or Excel file, even an images file, and submit your updates on the project reports. And so these two modules you will be using through the project timeline. If you have any question or raise your hand.
Thank you so very much, Shaharun. I'll give like if you have any specific questions regarding the modules, the way the reporting portal, we would during the co-design workshop, you will also have a live demo of the portal. We'll walk you through, as I mentioned earlier, it's what work in progress. So we are, and given the limitation of time we have today, we are not doing a live demo of the portal, but during the co-design workshop, we will conduct this, and trust me, it's going to be very intuitive. And we had a very good experience with our reviewers when we had the reviewer portal, because the whole review process was also done through and a custom made reviewers portal, and it was anybody could just figure it out. But yes, if you have any specific questions, please type your questions at this point. We will try to address them towards the end of our my presentation during the Q&A section. Thank you so very much, Shaharun. Shaharun is our data manager at our data analytics and data technologies teams at PHC Global. Shaharun, can we please move to the next slide? Just before we progress, we would also want all of our grantees to ensure that they have started the ethical approval process. We do understand that ethical approval, where needed, based on your context of the country that you are working in, may take time. It can take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So we highly encourage our grantees to start submitting their ethical approvals, or if you already have an ethical approval and your local or bioethics committee, or the national bioethics committee, or the institutional bioethics committee, if if you would require an exemption, or if you need to submit a new proposal, all of that has to be taken care of. So we need to make sure that before we start any work, ethical approval or exemption from ethical approval or whatever the case may be, that is secure, that is in place. And also in the coming days, we will also be sharing with you some very important documents like agreement to access to data, environmental impact, and also gender equity and inclusion documents. These are requirements by our donor agency, which is IDRC. And we would request our grantees to also familiarize themselves with the GEI document. That is what we would like you to know, is that we are not just working for research that is gender sensitive, but we are also looking for research that is gender transformative. We would like you to make sure that your work and your proposals, it is interpreted that what we have is that whatever designs are being made in terms of the project designs, in terms of the data that is being collected, and in terms of research that is being done and what is being implemented, they are all gender sensitive and gender transformative. And we would like to also highlight here that anything that is gender discriminatory, and the way gender is defined to be a broader term, and not just gender that's being binary, but also that is inclusive of men, women, young boys and girls, and people with different gender identities. That is inclusive, as well as those. It also includes marginalized and minorities communities as well. So these are some of the things that our team will be working with you over the co-design workshop, but these are some of the things we would like you to familiarize with yourself with, and you will be getting the documents, which please go through them before the co-design workshop. We highly recommend that you review these and come prepared. Next slide, please. Yeah, I'm just going to take another 2 minutes of your time here. So as we said, that the co-design workshop will be an opportunity for everyone to come together, not only to present what is they are going to be working on, but we also see this as an evolutionary process for our teams to refine and enhance your projects. And it will also be an opportunity for everyone to work on mutual collaboration, cooperation, and sharing of the resources. We have a very exciting time agenda prepared for you for the co-design workshop. Our team members from Center for Art-Based Methodologies and Wellness, Rodaba Sayed and her team, they are working to curate an amazing opportunity and an experience for all of our grantees. There's going to be a lot of work as well. But before you come for your co-design workshop, we would also request you to prepare a small presentation or project presentation. We thank you so very much for all of you who have shared with us your team structures and your projects details. Those will be also uploaded at some point on our website. But when you would request you to come, you present this with us a 5 minutes presentation of your work. And what we will also have, there will be like, we would like to have more time also for others to ask questions as well. The template, it is being finalized by our team, and you should be receiving it in the next later this week or early next week. We will share with you the template outline as well. So that is one thing that we request you to come prepared. So if at this time, if you have any questions regarding the presentation outline, the co-design workshop preparations, and the expectations, we are open to take your questions. And with this, next slide, please. Yep, thank you so very much. Just a quick making sure that we are all on the timeline. Just a quick, can you go to the slide for the timeline, please, Shaharun? Thank you very much. So it has been an amazing journey since April of this year. In the past 5 months, it's been an exciting journey for all of us. I hope we have been able to provide you answers in time, and we appreciate everyone who has submitted their proposals. And now we have developed, as Deepakji said, we are a family now of teams working together. We look forward to seeing everyone in Colombo in the week of September 13th to 17th. And following after that, we will have a new timeline which will be shared with everyone. I will just have one more announcement before I take the floor for questions. So just, yeah, I think we have our first question. So you can go back to the Q&A section slide, so then we can officially formally start taking the questions. So I have the question, Dr. Ihtishamul Islam. So what we have, the project start date will be the date that you will receive the grant agreement. We have our grant team here with us, Mr. Shabir Ahmed. He will also walk you through the grant process, and my apologies for missing to have him come online. Now I'm going to just hand it over to Shabir sir. Please go ahead and present your section on the grant agreement process and the questions related to the grant agreement and project start date. Over to you, Shabir sir. Thank you. Shabir sir, we cannot hear you if you are on mute. I think our project finance manager, Mr. Shabir Ahmed, he's joining us from Karachi. I think the mic is disabled. So would you be able to use somebody else's mic for the presentation, or do you want me to give some of the details regarding the grant agreement? Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, Shabir sir, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Shabir Ahmed, and my role in AI-Sarosh is to look after the overall grant management that includes budgeting, financial reporting, due diligences, logistic arrangements, and to ensure all compliances of internal and external stakeholders. So I'm going to present the next steps for completing the contractual agreements with all grantees. So we will share 2 documents by 1st September. One will be a scope of work that we have already drafted a document. So that will also include a few comments from our external reviewers. So all grantees are requested to add their to incorporate the comments of the reviewers and update the scope of work by 7th of September. So I will also share the draft agreement. Other than excluding the scope of work, that should be reviewed by the administrative staff of your organization. The reason of sending you 2 different documents is to speed up the process, because the scope of work should be reviewed by the technical team, and the rest of the agreement should be reviewed by your administrative team. So if both documents are being reviewed simultaneously, it will take lesser time to complete the contractual process. So the deadline is 7 September. It's max. So you are requested to send back the updated scope of work document and the draft agreement. There should be a few information which are required from the grantees that should be filled by the administrative staff. So if we receive the board documents by 7th of September, then we will prepare the final draft agreement that will also include the scope of work, and there will be one document. We will share that document through the portal, which Shaharun has already presented to you. So once it is once the signatures are fully executed, then the project date will be effective. That will be 11th September. So after that, we will discuss the scope of work and deliverables during our workshop. If any updates or changes are required in scope of work, that will be incorporated in our agreement, and the agreement will be amended accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Shabir Saab. I think also, Shabir Saab, you wanted to make this announcement right now because we will require each of our grantee teams to designate or nominate the one person who is from their grant management or administrative staff. Yes.
Yeah, there is a I have there is a space for the name and all details of that administrative staff in the draft agreement. So when we share that draft, it will be filled by their team. So we will come to know that who will be responsible for the grant management.
Yes, thank you so very much. So, thank you so much, Shabir Saab. Yes,
I would also like to add few more things regarding the draft agreement. Actually, there are 4 main sections of the agreement. Section 1, Part 1 is for specific terms and conditions that will be specific to the to each grantee between PSC Global and the grantee. And the section 2 or Part 2 is the general terms and conditions. There might be few terms or clauses that may not be applicable for the grantees, but since these are general terms and conditions, so they are part of the agreement. Third part is deliverables that should be finalized when the scope of work is completed by mutual agreement. And the last one is the project budget. So grantees, I will send the budget to all grantees that should be sent back in their working currency, because now we have received all the budgets in Canadian dollars. So so we need to get them revised in working currency, in respective working currencies. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Shabir Saab. Shabir Saab, I posted in the chat that when they're going to be signing the grants, we would require that the finance person and the grant manager, they should also be part of that agreement. So there's a question for us. He said that the person who is going to be the grant manager, the finance manager, should be from the team member or institution organization representative. Is there any requirement, or they can nominate anyone who's going to be responsible? Over to you, Shabir Saab.
Anyone from their administrative department, logistic department, procurement, or finance department, whoever is looking after such documentation in their organization.
Thank you. So I think we are clear that we have the researchers who are the working on the scientific aspect of it, but we also would like someone who is very much attuned and working directly with the financial components of it and reporting and managing due diligence. So I hope we have responded to your question. Are there other questions for myself or any of our team members? Please go ahead.
There is a question from Dr. Asaduzzahman. If the project manager is responsible for reviewing the contracts, budgets, and the financial reports, then he may be the person for the administrative and grant staff. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so the project manager, yes, we had requested, but also again, as Shabir Saab said, that the person who is responsible with day-to-day finance reporting and disbursements and assurance of due diligence, the team members' responsibilities can be mutual as well, but we would like to have someone who is very much working on the finance aspect of it to be on that signatures. Their signatures should be there with the grant acceptance. Is there? Please go ahead, and if there are any questions regarding the presentation, or if there are any questions regarding the co-design workshop participation, so we are here to respond to your answers. Shabir Saab and team, do you have any questions or do you have any specific information regarding the travel arrangements that you would like to share or provide to the participants of this webinar? Over to you.
No specific questions, but Irtida is coordinating individually with all participants. So if they have any question, or if Irtida has any question, they can communicate through emails. Right? There is a question from Dr. Ehtisham. He should be from the team members or institute organization representative. He can be from organization representative.
I understand, Dr. Tasham, your question is, will grants be transferred directly to the PI or team or to the organization and institution? So the bank account information that you provide us, that will be transferred there. But we would like to just remind that we follow the same guidelines for grant acceptance and granting that are based on the IDRC's granting policies. Grant amount will not be transferred to individuals. This cannot be an individual or a personal account. This has to be an account that is of an institution or an organizational account. That's why we requested everyone to send their financial history as well, and then to assess the financial health of the institution, and then the ability to be able to receive grants from Pakistan or from Nepal, which our finance team will be working with you to have the most streamlined and effective grant transfer mechanism. But I hope that responds to your question. We also have a question from Dr. Sadaf Majid. And if any of our participants would like to speak directly, please go ahead. You can raise your hand and Shaharun can unmute you and you'll be able to ask your question live as well. So Dr. Sadaf Majid has a question that, can you share the list of participant individuals who are going to the workshop? So Dr. Sadaf, what we will do is that as we are compiling the team profiles of members of each of the grantees, we will definitely share this. You will have it in your workshop packet, and the list will be shared. And whoever has been nominated by your organization, their names will be there. So if you are sure that you are going to be attending the workshop, then by now your name should have already come to us, and we should have already initiated your visa and your travel arrangements. So I hope, Dr. Sadaf, that confirms what you were asking. If there are any other specific information that you want. Is somebody trying to raise their hand? Shaharun, I can't see anyone, but we don't have any. Okay. Are there any other questions for our team here?
Just
Yeah.
Noor, can I just
Yes,
make it
please go
clear?
ahead.
You know, we decided to hire two people, two representatives from each grantee, not more than that. So whoever you recommended, two people will be in the workshop. You are in mute. You are in mute, Noor.
Thank you so very much, Deepak ji. Yeah. So there was a question regarding the presentation, project presentation outline. Shah Harun, can you please go to slide 16, which is the project presentation outline? And somebody has a question about what do you mean by the, yes, thank you so very much. So, what we have, what we're going to be requesting our presenters is going to be specifically, like, what is the problem statement that prompted them to think why this, to develop a solution. So what is the problem statement and the rationale for addressing that problem? And then in the project, so we have given you very specific instructions for each of the sections. So the instructions will be there as well. So for instance, we have the project aim and objectives. I can even pull the draft the template for your convenience. And for the bigger picture, what we are asking our presenters is to, because we want to see, we have asked this question, none of these questions are anything that is new. We have been asking you these over in your, the expression of interest that you submitted, the full technical proposal that you submitted. The bigger picture is more like about what is currently happening to address that issue or problem, either in terms of program, in terms of policy, any current AI solutions that are different from what you are proposing, and any non-AI solutions. So I would be happy to pull the template just to share with everyone. And you have any questions, you can ask more. And in the meantime, I would like to, being mindful of time, I would like to request our lead on this project, Dr. Muhammad Imran, to please address and give your thoughts and thank you note to our webinar participants while I pull the template. Over to you, Dr. Imran. I think there are threads of grants. There's a question, I guess. Hold on a second, please. Shabir Saab, can you please address Dr. Asaduzaman Polash's question? So it is more about, is the ethical approval applicable to research thread only? Dr. Iftikhar, can you please address this question from Dr. Asaduzaman Polash? Over to you, Dr. Iftikhar.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Noor. Hello, everybody, and a very good morning, afternoon, or evening, or wherever you are. So I'm Dr. Iftikhar Ahmed, the AI specialist associated with AI-Sarosh project. So as far as the question is concerned regarding the ethical approval, so basically, whether it's like the research or innovation track, for both of them, as long as, because we are collecting data, there will be like human subjects involved in that. So in both of these cases, ethical approval will be a requirement. So because it involves like human subjects, okay, we are going to like collect their data. So their consent will of course be required. So for that, ethical approval of the relevant bodies will be important. If there is any further clarification required, feel free to ask it again. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Iftikhar. Right now, as all of you can see my screen, I'm sharing my screen with you. So this is the template for the presentation that we are requesting. As I said, this is work in progress. We just need to make it a bit more fancy by putting our logo. So that's why, like, once we have the outline and everything ready. So once it's a bit much more formatted, we will share with you the thing. So we will have the project title, and because it's going to be a very time managed, we are going to strictly observe the time for this presentation, because we're looking forward to hearing from everybody in the team. And every team member and each team, they have already shared with us your profile. So your profile and your regarding your or program has already been shared. So we would request that you don't spend more than 1 minute on the introductory slide. Like the second slide would be the project. Okay, thank you. Just this presentation overview, this slide is just for your reference to show you the flow of the presentation. And since every awardee will have the same presentation outline, so you can even remove this slide. And for we have put instructions for each of the slides for your convenience. And if there are any other questions that come during today's co-design workshop webinar, please go ahead and send those questions and recommendations if there's not clarification. So then we will add them to the template for everybody's convenience. And we are always here to respond to your questions as well through email. Again, the problem statement and rationale, we expect you not to spend more than 1 minute for it. Again, you have the instructions down there, the problem and the rationale for justification of the importance being addressed. And we would request you here to use data that is gender disaggregated data, not only by gender, but also data that is disaggregated by geographic distribution, as well as socioeconomic status. And when you are presenting the problem statement, we request that it should be it should address the gender equity and inclusion guidelines that we will be sharing with you. It should be aligned along those lines. And then again, this we would like you to, if you are an innovation track, you will write it accordingly, your project aim. If it's a research track, you would write it accordingly. And we would request that instead of putting, we don't expect you to be putting a paragraph here. We would expect you to write well-written bulleted forms here. And you have to just explain this slide as well. And then the main component of it, the design and methodology of the proposed AI innovation. And if you have a research track, then for that. And again, we trying to give you 2 minutes here, but you don't have to cramp all your information in this one slide. If you want, you can add more slide here, 1 or 2 or 3 slides, but the time limit for this heading, design and methodology, should not exceed more than 2 minutes. And the instructions are clearly written for each of the slides. And then again, the bigger picture, which is again, we would request you to give thought about it, because we understand that AI solutions and research, they are important, but at the same time, concurrently, what is taking place, because what the solutions we are going to be working on, we want to look towards sustainability and addressing the more from a holistic point of view, because addressing just the problem without addressing the social determinants of the problem can result in the solution not being accepted or the solution not being sustainable or staying there for long. So what we are trying to do is make our partners and the grantees to think of the bigger picture and how they're going to be addressing it. So this is the presentation outline. If you have any questions regarding the presentation, please feel free to either put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand to ask the question. And then I can stop sharing my screen, because right now I cannot see much because I'm in the sharing mode. Yes, so the minutes are applicable to presentation time in person. This is all going to be this presentation. You will receive the agenda for the co-design workshop, and in the agenda, you will see when your team will be required to present, to make this presentation. So it is going to be on the second day, which was like the 14th, and you wouldn't have much time to prepare it at the time of the presentation. So we request all our grantees to come prepared with this presentation. And please dry run it so you know that the time is managed and it is within the 5 to 6 minutes, because each team is given a slot of 10 minutes. So if you want your presentation to be you won't have more time for Q&A, please make sure that your presentation is 5 minutes. So we would have more time for Q&A, and we have 10 teams. So for that, we have allocated almost like 100 to 120 minutes for that. But given the fact that we have a very packed agenda for the co-design workshop, we would request time management there as well. If there are any other questions, please go ahead, or I can stop sharing my screen. Okay, we are nearing the hour for our allocated time. I hope Dr. Imran is able to join. Okay. Thank you. The question, okay, so sorry. The chats, give me a second, please. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Imran couldn't be with us on this call. He had to jump off. So Hina, you're asking, is the virtual session option available for participation during the workshop for the rest of the team members to join? I'm afraid we will not be making the provision for virtual participation for other team members because we expect that the key decision makers, that is the PI and the AI expert and the SRMH expert, they are going to be present with us during the co-design workshop, and it is a prerequisite for the grant. So, and we have been very strict about it, or we have been very observant of this fact. So, but if there are some components of the presentation, it's a 5-minute presentation, I'm afraid we will not be able to give time for virtual joining of the team members. However, this is your presentation. We are not dictating anything to you. You can use any format of presentation if you want. And if you want, you can even have your presentation pre-recorded and run in 5 minutes. It's up to you. If you want to do it as a poem, as a story, as a video documentary, it's up to you. The field is yours. The template is provided to guide you that each of the sections is covered by that presentation, because we want to have everyone presenting the same components, because then we will want to have more question and answers. So Hina, I hope I've been able to answer your question. And if you have any questions regarding the presentation outline, please feel free to email us at AI-Sarosh or myself. You have our email addresses. So yeah, and I'm noor.rakhshani at phcglobal.org, or any member of our team can respond to your questions. Dr. Asaduzzaman Polash says the grant agreement is supposed to be finalized after the workshop anyway. Yes, you are correct. In terms of, because we have some time crunch, Shabir Sab, would you be able to answer, or do you want me to go ahead and respond to this question?
I was answering Dr. Saduzzaman. Actually, the effect we want to make the effective date for starting the project 11 September, and it depends on the how quickly the next steps, as we discussed earlier, are completed. That 7th September. If he can complete this process by 7th September, then we want to make the effective date 11th September. However, if any changes or suggestions are present during the workshop, then the agreement will be amended accordingly, but the effective date will be the same, 11th September.
Yes, just to reaffirm that, so you will receive from us the scope of work that we have prepared with the sample grant agreement for you to review and respond back to us with a revised or accepted scope of work no later than September 7th. This is a hard deadline, unfortunately. We will have to be observing those hard deadlines. We are giving you 5 business days to review the scope of work and approve it as it is or make an amendments if you feel like, and then send it back to us. Please be quick in your email, and like we will make sure that we will be responding to you within 24 hours or less during this time period. And then by September 8th, once we receive the approved scope of work from our grantees, we will send you the grant agreement and scope of work via link. And then the day the grant agreement was shared with you, that would be technically seen as a grant start date. But we also expect our grantees to complete the signing of the agreement, not the final grant itself, the agreement before September 11th, that is before the start of their travel for the workshop. So that is just a small caveat that we wanted to clarify. And Kamran Sahab has, yes, agreement signing process will take time, but that is what we are saying, that the day the agreement is shared with you, that would be the grant agreement date. Zaid Maiman Sahab, if you have questions, we can try to respond to your questions later on as well. Yes, please, Shabir Sahab.
I would like to add on the question of Dr. Zahid Mehman. If it takes few time due to the comments, review comments from the grantees, then it may take a longer time. But practically, we have already started working on the project, so it should be the same for all grantees. So we decided it to be 11th September because on 13th September we are going to join the co-design workshop. So we have already started working on the project practically. Yeah.
Thank you so very much, Shabir Sahab. I think we don't want to keep any of our participants more than the time we agreed to have you on for this webinar. Please feel free to reach out us through questions through email, or you can call us directly if anything related to your travel, the grant agreement, or any clarification regarding the budgets. We are here to respond to your answers. With this, if we don't have any other questions, I would officially close the webinar, and I would request Mr. Kamran Aslam from our team to give you his note of thanks. Kamran sir, please, if you can join us to give the note of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Noor, and thank you everyone for joining us, for applying for this grant and joining us today for the webinar. And I'm really happy, and we are really excited about the project, and really looking forward to working with you all. And I'm really excited about joining you all at the workshop that's going to happen in Nepal. In Sri Lanka. Yeah, in Sri Lanka. With that, thank you very much, and we will keep in contact, and we'll be sharing information as we go toward the workshop. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so very much, everyone. We can officially close the recording now. Thank you. Have a good day, evening, afternoon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.